Next ayah. This is Jawab al-Qasam. لا أقسم بهذا البلد وأنت حل بهذا البلد. This is اعتراض. ووالد وما ولد. This is another qasam. Jawab al-Qasam is لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد. We have indeed created man in toil. Man, since he is born up to his death, he is in toil, in problems. لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد. كبد. There is another important word, kabidun. Kabidun, kasra. Kabidun is liver, in the member of the body, in the, that is kabid. Kabidun is liver, L-I-V-E-R. Yes. Kabidun is. لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد. This is Jawab al-Qasam, and the instrument of emphasis here is لقد, according to rule. أيحسب أن لن يقدر عليه أحد. Now here, حسب يحسب. حسب يحسب is to think, to regard, to think, to consider. It takes two objects, like ظن, أتظن. We say الباب مفتوح, أتظن الباب مفتوحا. Do you think the gate is open? The same way, أتحسب حسب يحسب سمع. أتحسب تحسب الباب مفتوحا. It takes two objects. You can also use with أن. أتحسب أن الباب مفتوح. أن اسم إن عن خبر إن. Bilal mujtahidun. Bilal is hardworking. You say أتحسب بلالا مجتهدا. Do you think Bilal is mujtahid, is hardworking? أتحسب بلالا, first object, بلال مجتهدا. You can also say أتحسب أن بلالا مجتهد. أتحسب أن بلالا مجتهد. Do you think that Bilal is mujtahid? حسب يحسب. حسب يحسب. Now, the third important thing that you must learn here, so you can say أن تحسب أتحسب أن بلالا تحسب أن بلالا مجتهد. Anna has got, we have learned Anna. This is called Anna al-Thaqila. Thaqila means with shadda, heavy. Heavy Anna, which means, heavy means with shadda. Khafifa means mukhaffafa or khafifa, light. That means without shadda. So the light shadda, the light anna is an. An. Here, ayahsabu an lan yaqdira alayhi ahadun. Please note this. Ayahsabu an. This is not an, which is, we say, uridu an adhaba. It's not like this. That is, but this is anna, which is khafifa, lightened form. It requires little concentration. Ayahsabu an. Ayahsabu an la yaqdira alayhi ahad. Ahadun is fa'il. This here we had an who. And this who is Dhamir Ashan, which we studied a couple of days ago. And this Dhamir Ashan, which is Ismu An, is omitted. The khabar is Lan Yaqdira alayhi ahad. So Yaqdira is mansoob because of Lan. It's nothing to do with this. It has been protected by who, which is ism, and which has been dropped. Another example I'll give you of unlightened an. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. It is actually ashhadu annahu. Who is dhamir shan? Then if it is lightened, you say ashhadu anhu. We drop the who. We say ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. So an here is anna, which has been lightened, and its ism is who, dhamir shan, which has been omitted. So here, ayahsabu an lan yaqdira, qadara yaqdiru, to have power, to be able to. To be able to. Qadara yaqdiru. I can, I am able to, will be aqdiru. Naqdiru, we are able to. Takes ala. Ana aqdiru ala hamli hadha. I am able to carry this. Ayahsabu an lan yaqdira alayhi. So the sentence an lan yaqdira alayhi ahad, this is khabar of an, lightened an. And what is the ism? Who, which has been dropped. Who, dhamir shan, which has been dropped. Ayahsabu an lan yaqdira alayhi ahad. Does he think? لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد. أيحسب أن لن يقدر عليه أحد. Does he think that nobody will have power over him? He does whatever he likes, as if he thinks that nobody will be able to bring him to book. أيحسب أن لن يقدر عليه أحد. Lan, what does it do? Mudhari mansoob. It puts the mudhari in the mansoob case. أيحسب أن لن يقدر عليه أحد. أحد is fa'il. أيحسب أن لن يقدر عليه أحد. I've got other examples of hasiba. ولا تحسبن الله غافلا عما يعمل الظالمون. Page 122. ولا تحسبن الله. ولا تحسبن الله. Never think. With noon tawkeed. ولا تحسبن الله. First maf'ul is Allah. And the second maf'ul is ghafilan. Do not ever think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is unmindful of what the wrongdoers are doing. Amma ya'malul al-zalimun. Never think that Allah is unmindful of what the wrongdoers are doing. وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ اللَّهَ غَافِلًا. Allah, maf'ul awwal, ghafilan, maf'ul thani. Amma is actually anma. Amma is what? Anma. Noon has been assimilated to mim. It has become amma. وَتَحْسَبُهُمْ أَيْقَاظًا وَهُمْ رُقُودٌ. This is in Surah Al-Kahf. Allah Ta'ala is speaking about the 7 sleepers, the cave. He says, وَتَحْسَبُهُمْ أَيْقَاظًا. You think they are awake. Ayqaz in plural of yaqidun. Yaqidun. Yaqidun means awake. There is another word Yaqwanu. This is more frequently used, yaqwan. Anaimun anta am yaqwan? Anaimun anta am yaqwan? Are you sleeping or awake? Yaqwan. Yaqidun or yaqwanu. One or two dhammas? One dhamma. Because it's a noun ending in alif noon. Yaqwanu, like jaw'anu, like atshanu. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَتَحْسَبُهُمْ. Where is the maf'ul? First maf'ul? Hum. You consider them ayqawan. Second. You consider them awake. وَهُمْ رُقُودٌ. وَهُوَ الْحَالِ. While actually the matter is they are asleep, sleeping. Raqidun. Raqada yarqudu. Raqada yarqudu, to sleep. Ism al-fa'il raqidun. And plural ruqudun. Raqidun, ruqudun. Raqada yarqudu. Raqidun. Ism al-makan, how do you say from this? Marqadun. Marqadun, Surah Yasin. Remember? Man ba'athana min marqadina. Man ba'athana, who has raised us up from our place of sleep. Man ba'athana min marqadina. Raqidun, ruqudun. See, plural is ruqud. Like jalisun, julusun. Julus also means sitting, but this is plural. Kunna julusan, we were sitting. This is plural of jalis. Shahidun. Shahidun, witness. Shuhudun. وَتَحْسَبُهُمْ أَيْقَاظًا وَهُمْ رُقُودٌ. You think them awake while they are sleeping. Another ayah, تَحْسَبُهُمْ جَمِيعًا. تَحْسَبُهُمْ جَمِيعًا وَقُلُوبُهُمْ شَتَّى. You think them, consider them what? United. وَقُلُوبُهُمْ شَتَّى. Shatta we have seen, while their hearts are scattered. وَقُلُوبُهُمْ شَتَّى. تَحْسَبُهُمْ, hum, first object. جَمِيعًا is the second object. وَقُلُوبُهُمْ شَتَّى. يَقُولُ أَهْلَكْتُ مَالَ اللُّبَدَى. This man, Allah Ta'ala is speaking about man who was created in toil, and he thinks that nobody will be able to have power over him. يَقُولُ أَهْلَكْتُ مَالَ اللُّبَدَى. Yaqulu, he says, ahlaktu. Halaka yahliku is to perish. Halaka yahliku. Halakun. Bab af'ala, how do you say? Ahlaka yuhliku. Ihlak. Ismul fa'il from ahlaka yuhliku. Muhlikun. Muhlikun. That which makes things perish. Ahlaktu mal al-lubada. The normal word for spending is anfaqa yunfiqu. Which bab is this? Anfaqa. Fourth, af'ala yuf'ilu. وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. To spend. But he uses the word ahlaktu. Mal al-lubada. Lubada, abundant. This is a very rarely used word, abundant. I have squandered abundant wealth. He uses the word ahlaktu, because it's not spending in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's in sin. So he says, ahlaktu, I have made a lot of money perish, squandered. Ahlaktu malan. Why is malan mansoob? Maf'ulun bihi. Ahlaktu malan, where is the fa'il? Tais. Ahlaktu, I have squandered wealth in abundance. Ahlaktu mal al-lubada. So please note this word. Ahlaktu, he uses the word ma, he doesn't say anfaqtu. Had he spent the money in its right way, he would have said anfaqtu. He has spent it in sin. He says, ahlaktu mal al-lubada. I have squandered money, abundant money. Ayahsabu an lan yarahu ahad. Does he think that no one sees him in whatever he is doing? He is free to do whatever he does and nobody is recording his actions. Ayahsabu an lam yarahu ahad. So here, an lam yarahu ahad, this sentence, fi mahalli rafa, because it is khabar of an, and its ism has been omitted, which is who, which is dhamir ash-shan. Alam yahsabu an lam yarahu ahad. Does he think that nobody is watching him, having an eye on him? Ayahsabu an lam yarahu ahad. As I told you here, yarahu, after ha there is a waw, because hu is preceded by a mutaharrik letter. If it is sakin, then it will be short. If it is preceded by a mutaharrik, it is long. Yarahu. We say minhu, but yarahu. We'll stop here and continue inshallah in the next session. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد, brothers and sisters, we will continue with this surah. I was explaining to you the verb hasiba yahsabu and how the word anna can be lightened, has a lightened form, and when this lightened form is used, its ism is who, and which is dhamir ash-shan is omitted, and we say as here ayahsabu an lan yaqdir alayhi ahad, and also is used in the famous line ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, which is ashhadu annahu la ilaha illallah, but an is here the lightened form, and who has been omitted. That is the dhamir ash-shan. Ayahsabu an lam yarahu ahadun. Alam naj'al lahu aynayni. Alam naj'al lahu aynayni. Ja'ala, create, assign, as we have seen before. Ja'ala has got three meanings which we have used, which we have seen. Ja'ala in the sense of to convert, something into something else. Ja'altu bayti masjidan, it has two objects. Ja'ala also in the sense of to start, commence. Ja'altu ata'allamu al-lughat al-arabiyyah, I started learning Arabic. Yes. And then this year, جعل الله الظلمات والنور. وجعل الظلمات والنور, he created the darknesses and light. It takes only one object. Alam naj'al lahu, that is, who refers to man. Alam naj'al, have we not assigned to him, made for him, aynaini, two eyes, wa lisanan wa shafataini, a tongue and two lips. Shafatun. Shafatun. Here also shafatun is ta, is a compensatory ta. The original form is shafahun with ha. And the ismul nasab, when we make nasab from this, is shafahiyun. We also use shafawiyun and shafahiyun. That is with the tongue. Ikhtibarun shafahiyun. Ikhtibarun shafahiyun. Oral examination. Shafahiyun. Ahrufun shafahiyya. The letters which are pronounced with the lips are called hurufun shafahiyya or shafawiyya. This is ba, waw, mim. Ba, waw, mim. They are pronounced with the two lips. They are huruf shafahiyya or shafawiyya. There is a verb also. If it is used in the third form, that is ba fa'ala. How do you say? Shafaha. Shafaha. Mudara'. Yes? Yushafihu. Masdar is mushafahatan. So the third radical is ha. Shafaha is to speak to someone, yes, mouth to mouth, face to face. Shafahtuhu. Kallamtuhu mushafahatan. Mushafahatan. I spoke to him face to face. So ha, the third article has been omitted, and ta, this ta is the compensatory ta. Shafatun. The plural is shifahun. Again plural, the ha comes back, shifahun. Lips. Shifahun. Shifahun. Ainun, what is the plural? A'yunun. As I told you in the Qur'an, the plural of ayn in the sense of this ayn is a'yunun. And in the sense of water spring, it is uyunun. But in non-Quranic Arabic, you can use uyun for the members also. But in the Quran, always the word ayun, plural ayun, is used for this ayn. And uyun is for the water spring. Alam naj'al lahu aynayni wa lisanan wa shafatayni wa hadaynahu najdaini wa hadaynahu najdain. Hada, I have seen in the first lesson, hada takes two objects. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim, na is first object and as-sirata is second object. It can also be used with ila and lam, that we have done with in detail in the Surah Al-Fatiha. Hadayna, yes. But who is, yes. Hadaynahun najdain. Na is fa'il and ha is maf'ul, first maf'ul, and najdain is the second maf'ul. Wa hadaynahun najdaini. Hada yahdi hidayatan. وَهَدَيْنَاهُ Najdain is mountain path. Najd is a plateau or a highland. In the Arabian Peninsula, the middle of this peninsula is called Najd. It's a highland. As against Hijaz. Hijaz, the coastal area, Mecca, Medina, and these areas are called Hijaz. Hijaz. This is low laying, it's the level of sea level. But when it go to the east, it goes up. So Najd, Riyadh, for example, is in Najd. It's a highland. So Najd also means a road on a path in the highland, in the mountain path. وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ We have shown him two mountain paths. One is of right, the other is of wrong. وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ فَلَقْتَحَمَ الْأَقَبَةَ فَلَقْتَحَمَ الْأَقَبَةَ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْأَقَبَةُ فَكُّ رَقَبَةٍ اقتحم, what bab is this? 8th. اقتحم, يقتحم, قحم, اقتحم. اقتحم is to rush into something, to storm a fortress, for example, to storm an enemy camp. اقتحم. Or there is a crowd of people and somebody goes into this crowd with his car or with, you will say اقتحم. اقتحم. He rushed into it, he stormed it. فَلَقْتَحَمَ الْأَقَبَةَ Aqaba is on a mountain, an impediment. It is a place where it is difficult to cross. Impediment, or a place where it is difficult to cross or to pass. But it also, some Mufassirun have mentioned that it also means the top or the highest point in the plateau, in the mountain. That it will be summit. That's why I have translated it as a summit. فَلَقْتَحَمَ الْأَقَبَةَ But he has not stormed the summit. That he has gone halfway, but has not completed. In doing good, in following the path of righteousness, he has only crossed half of it, but he has not gone to the complete full length. فَلَقْتَحَمَ You see, Fala, as we have seen before, Madi is negated by Ma. Mudari is negated by La. But Madi is negated with La in two cases. Which are they? First of all, to express a wish. La araka Allahu makruhan. May not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala show you anything unpleasant. You follow me? La. So it is a wish. La qaddar Allah. May Allah not determine it for you. La qaddar Allah. La samah Allah. Now this is a wish. The second is when two verbs are negated together then you use la. La akaltu wala sharibtu. I have neither eaten nor drunk. La akaltu wala sharibtu. لا توضأت ولا صليت لا توضأت ولا صليت لا دخلت ولا خرجت. If somebody says you have got inside the room and you must have taken something, he said لا دخلت ولا خرجت. Follow me? In the Quran, فلا صدق ولا صلى فلا صدق ولا صلى. He neither believed nor he prayed. So here we have neither a wish nor two verbs are there. But why فَلَقْتَحَمَ الْأَقَبَةَ? So in fact, there are two verbs which will come later on. When we come to the end of the surah, we'll find out there is another verb which is mentioned later, but whose rightful place is here. We'll see why it has been mentioned later. So, فَلَقْتَحَمَ الْأَقَبَةَ. فَلَقْتَحَمَ الْأَقَبَةَ. Aqaba plural is iqab. فَلَقْتَحَمَ الْأَقَبَةَ. فَلَا صَدَّقَ وَلَا صَلَّى. We have seen this before. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْأَقَبَةَ. In the Quran you see always, there are many places where to highlight a point, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ. What will explain to you? Dara yadri is to know. Dara yadri. Ma adri. The usual word the Arabs use for I don't know is la ma adri. La adri. La adri. Dara yadri. Dirayatan. Dara yadri. Which bab is this? Daraba yadri. Dara yadri. To make it is of course transitive. To make it doubly transitive with two objects, we will say adra. Adra mudara yudri. Adra yudri. Of course the masdar is idra'un. It's very rarely used. Wama adraka. What made you know? What will explain to you? So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to bring out a point, to highlight a point, he says, Wama adraka. What will explain to you? How do you come to know what is this? What it is? Wama adraka mal aqaba. You have not stormed the summit. You are standing in the middle. You have not gone up. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْعَقَبَةُ. Who will explain to you, or how will you come to know what the summit is? Because if you understand what summit is, then you will understand what is required of you to do. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْعَقَبَةُ. Now, mal aqaba, this jumla ismiya, is it jumla ismiya or fi'liya? Ismiya. Mal aqaba, where is the mubtada? Al-aqabatu ma. When the khabar is interrogative particle, interrogative noun, it comes first. Masmuka ismuka ma. Mal aqaba. So aqaba, mubtada, and ma is khabar. And this jumla ismiya is the second object of adra. Wama adra ka is the first, and aqaba, mal aqaba is the second object. Wama adraka mal aqaba. So remember always Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he highlights an idea, he asks a question. Do you understand what I am going to tell you? What is aqaba? First of all, he said, you have not stormed the aqaba. And then he says, do you understand what it is? And then he replies, fakku raqaba. Of course, here the mubtada is omitted. Wama adraka mal aqaba hiya. What will explain to you what is aqaba? And then he says, hiya. This mubtada, that is fakku raqaba. Fakka yafukku is to untie a rope, or even untie, or to take out a nail. That is why in modern Arabic, mifakkun is a screwdriver. Screwdriver. Mifakkun. What type of noun is this? Ismul ala. Mifakkun. Mifakkun is a screwdriver. So, to untie a rope, rabata yarbitu. Rabata is to tie. Fakka is to untie. Raqaba is the neck. Raqaba. And that is the word used in Arab land, raqaba. Fakku raqaba is untying the and the neck. What does it mean? Freeing a slave. Freeing a slave. Because a slave in the olden days was treated like an animal. He will be tied with a rope, and so that he doesn't run away, they will have him as an animal is brought, tied to a rope, and the rope will be tied to his neck. So, fakku raqaba. People don't understand the contribution of Islam with regard to the emancipation of slaves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the expiation of many sins, it may be a small sin, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the expiation is that you should free a slave. Freeing a slave, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encourages. Of course, in those days it was not possible to abolish slavery. It will be like abolishing aeroplanes now, all of a sudden one day. So people will be stuck. So slaves were a part of the society. So Islam encouraged emancipation in different ways. So he says, fakku raqaba. Riqab is plural. We also have riqab, wafir riqabi. That is in emancipation of slaves, in freeing slaves. Raqabatun fir riqab. See, there is an ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah, 177. وَآتَ الْمَالَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ وَآتَ الْمَالَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ, that he gave his wealth عَلَى حُبِّهِ, for love of him, for Allah's love. ذَوِي الْقُرْبَى, the relatives, kith and kin, وَالْيَتَامَى, and the orphans, وَالْمَسَاكِينَ, and the needy, poor, وَابْنَ السَّبِيلِ, the wayfarer, وَالسَّائِلِينَ, and the beggars, وَفِي الرِّقَابِ, and for the emancipation of slaves. So in the Zakah fund, there is one special provision for the emancipation of slaves. وَفِي الرِّقَابِ فَكُّ رَقَبَةٍ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْعَقَبَةُ فَكُّ رَقَبَةٍ. There is another word, fakkun. If it is a noun, then it is the jaw. Jaw is fakkun. Yes. Jaw. Bayna fakkayhi, between its two jaws. For example, the alligator caught him between his two jaws, bayna fakkayhi. Fakku raqaba aw it'amun. Now, emancipation of slaves may not be available, may not be possible for every man. Only the rich people who have slaves, they can emancipate and go to Jannah, cross the Aqaba, cross the summit. But those who are poor, how to do? What will they do? What can they do to attain this position? For them, there is a provision. Aw it'amun. At'ama yut'imu. Which bab is this? Fourth. At'ama. Ta'ima yat'amu is to eat or to taste. Ta'ima yat'amu. At'ama is to feed. We have seen mat'amun. Mat'amun is a restaurant where people eat, place of eating. Mat'amun. It'amun, tat'im also we have seen, but fa'ala, tat'im is inoculation. It's in book 3 more. Yes, tat'im. Tat'im is also used for inlay work, inlay work. In metals and wood, you make a groove and then you put in another wood, for example, of another color, that is called tat'im, as if you are feeding it. Aw it'amun, or feeding, fi yawmin dhi mazghabatin, fi yawmin dhi mazghabatin. Saghiba yazghabu, bab fa'ila yaf'alu, saghiba is to be hungry. It's not a very common word. We have ja'a yaju'u, to be hungry. Jaw'an, we know this word. The verb is ja'a yaju'u, like qala yaqulu, ju'tu, I feel hungry, ju'tu. Aju'u kathiran, I feel hungry a lot. So masghabatun is masdar mimi, hunger. Aw it'amun fi yawmin dhi masghabatin, that is on a day of hunger. Maybe a day of public hunger, that means famine, or private hunger, a man feeling hungry. Not everybody, but a particular man doesn't find food. Or it may be that everybody doesn't find food because of the storm of these catastrophic events in the world, where everybody has to be has the same problem. Hurricane and all, earthquakes, hurricanes. And fi yawmin zi mazghabatin yatiman dha maqrabatin. Please note that a masdar has got object just like a verb. Ut'imu yatiman, I feed an orphan. At'im yatiman, feed an orphan. And masdar it'amun yatiman. It'amun has a, but if you say it'amu yatiman, that's a mudaf ilayh. But here it is mubtada and khabar. Aw it'amun, aw feeding is mubtada, yatiman is this object. Aw it'amun fi yawmin zi mazghabatin, yatiman is the object of it'amun. Dha maqrabatin, dha, one of the 5 asma'il khamsa, dhu and dha. Dhu is marfu' and dha is mansub, majroor is dhi. Fi yawmin dhi mazghabatin, here we have dhi because it is a na'at for yawm. Fi yawmin dhi mazghabatin. Here yatiman dha, not for yatiman. Dha maqrabatin. Maqraba is like qurba, that is relative. Dha maqraba, one who is related to you. Dha maqrabatin. Yatiman dha maqrabatin. He needs more care and more, he deserves more than your attention. Of course, all orphans have to be looked after, but a man, a yatim who is close to you, related to you, deserves more your attention. أو إطعام في يوم ذي مزغبة يتيما ذا مقربة.